Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos and welcome to my weekly vault. This week we're not going to start off on the DK because I didn't log into that character last week, but I did log into all of my other characters, so we've still got a lot of vaults. I just didn't end up feeling like playing the DK much. It's already got pretty much everything it needs, so. Up first we've got my warrior. I actually brought my warrior to 6 bosses of Mythic, so it's got Mythic vaults, and I did some keys on it as well last week. So I think I only did 3 keys, so I think we've got 1 key slot. Loot spec arms is fine. I don't really mind. I don't really care about seeing weapons or trinkets anyway, so hoping to see something else. We've got a cloak, a crit haste cloak, or a crit mastery cloak, or some gloves. Now I already do have myth track gloves, or a weapon. One of the things we're kind of hoping to dodge in the vault, but cloaks are good. This character doesn't have very many remaining pieces on the hero track, so every piece of myth track we see, like I can take this myth track cloak, and then I can craft into my belt and be full like myth track or 525 crafted. That's a pretty good place to be. This character is really starting to come together. So, yeah, we'll grab this. And yeah, dude, Prot Warrior's been fun. I've been having a lot of fun playing Prot Warrior. I think I might do some more messing around on this class. It's kind of a blast to play. All right, let's maneuver on over to the next character, which is going to be my monk. My monk, which I realize actually has an upgrade in its bags that I didn't put on from raid last night. This character, we do a raid called Monday Night Squad, MNS, that is really fun. But this week it started very early in the morning on Tuesday. So that was right before I went to bed, woke up, here I am. And we cleared 7 bosses in that run. We cleared some Olderon, it was sick. Very fun run. But I have to make sure that I don't take a necklace because I did end up collecting the Ouroboreal necklet out of that raid, so that went very well. Yeah, loot spec, Windwalker's fine. This character's also got a good cheat death trinket from this season. Ooh, a socketed verse crit ring. If the Aeronog and Broodkeeper rings weren't so good, I would be very happy about this particular ring. There's also Myth Track belt. There's a weapon, don't really care about that. Or a different myth track belt, crit verse or haste verse. Well, crit verse is what we're looking for in the belt slot. So we're gonna grab this. This ring actually would save me a reasonable amount of crests eventually, but I don't think I can beat a myth track upgrade. I think that's gonna outperform crest, especially. Yeah, it's like upgrading the rings is gonna be something I'll want to do. I do need to get some more worms crests is the problem. I have 120. And I guess I need 120 to upgrade both of these right now, but I also still have a bunch of stuff below 515 in all of these slots. Yeah, this character may end up doing one more heroic run or something so that I can get all those upgraded, or maybe I'll just sneak it into Mythic again, and then... How am I doing on aspects? 87 aspects crest? Yeah, I mean, I can craft in a couple more slots, too. Like, I think this week we get our next craft, so... I'm going to be able to, if I got enough aspects crest, I could potentially craft into, like 2 of these slots. It doesn't really feel good to craft into chest, though, because chest piece in particular, you usually do want to be, like, 528, not 525. Cloak is a good slot to craft into, and chest piece, like, obviously 525 is a lot better than 502. It's just, like, long-term kind of icky, but I may end up pulling the trigger on just doing that. Eventually. But yeah, the way this season works is, and every season basically, as long as crafted pieces are a couple eye levels lower than the other ones, you'd really rather craft into like belt, bracers, boots, rings, if depending on the season, like those kind of slots, shoulders even, rather than helm, chest, legs, because those slots are beefy in terms of the amount of stats they give you per item level, so you don't want them to be your lower item level slots. That's created a little bit of an interesting dynamic because there's been stuff like the haste pants for plate that, you know, you're taking an eye level hit to craft into that slot. All right, loot specs ret, that's fine. We don't want to see weapons of any kind. We don't really want to see trinkets of any kind either. Oh, yeah, this character just did some heroic bosses, so a little prank here. We're gonna end up taking 4/3 of a socket, which not bad. That's 1 socket and a little bit left over. This would have been a good character if I could have, you know, summoned the willpower to do a key on, but I didn't, so that's what we're getting. Is one socket, and now if I do one key on this character next week, I can take a socket out of the vault from that, so that's pretty good. Okay. Demon Hunter. My Demon Hunter, I did 4 bosses of Mythic on, and I did a key. So we can take 2 sockets, or we could find a cool upgrade. This character's actually also getting quite kitted out. I've got, I think, full Mythtrack tier. Mythtrack 2 weapons. I'm still sitting on an old Dawn of the Infinite trinket, so I do need to keep spamming hard mode until I can get, the good one. And then I also need to get myself better trinket. I did 4 mythic bosses. I didn't get my bullion last week, so I still don't have my next bullion purchase. What do we have here? We have Mythtrack shoulders. Don't need that. Mythtrack belt. Don't need that. Mythtrack helmet. Don't need that. If there was a tertiary on these, we'd have a conversation. Actually, we wouldn't have much of a conversation. I would have selected them. I love tertiaries. But we didn't, so we are taking 2 sockets, and we're pretty happy about it. Sockets are very good. I've got good stuff to... Actually, I'm not going to socket this Broodkeeper ring, because there's a decent chance I'm going to want to replace that. You do get a lot of shielding out of it, but man, Mastery is so bad. Just throw in Haste Verse for now on these. Oh, I guess this doesn't work with this type of thing. Let's see. Bang. Yeah, pretty cool. It is pretty cool. You can get a Tinker and a gem into these as well. All right. So yeah, this character has gotten better, but not, in the traditional way, in the sockets way. That's fine. Really not much that this thing needs still. Like, I don't know. I need some crests to upgrade my rings. I actually almost have enough Worms crests to just do it to pay through the no discount cost. If I get some rings, then that'll happen. And then I need to find Mythtrack pants and fix my trinket situation. And then this character's, full build. Pretty good. Okay, we skip over the DK because that character didn't do anything last week. And we'll hop onto the Druid. Now, the Druid is in the unenviable position of having only done 1 Mythic plus 10 Keystone. This is a spot that I've avoided on a lot of characters for these first few weeks of Great Vaults, but it's going to become increasingly common as the passion wanes, and as I start, spending more time doing like raid testing or whatever on beta. When beta servers come up, alpha's down now. Next time those servers come up, they'll be beta. But yeah, let's see what we've got here. So I ended up purchasing a Fire Act trinket for... This one's nice because it's like a tank trinket, and you can use it as the other rolls and keys, and it's pretty good. But yeah, we're going to be loot spec balance, because I'm trying to gear this thing out for resto, and I actually would really like to see one of the Azure Vault trinkets, one of which you can only see in that spec. Unfortunately, we're not going to see a trinket, but fortunately, we're going to see Mythtrack pants. Now, this does replace Leech in my pants, which is not great. Leech is really good, but what I can do is, for the short term, I can just upgrade this to 522, because the other one is only 522 as well. And then, eventually, once I get enough crests to upgrade, I can consider upgrading the other Mythtrack pants. Like the Mythtrack pants and being 528. I actually don't know if 528 is better than 522 with Leech in the pants for Resto Druid. I suspect it is for, like, hard keystones, because you just want to be less one-shot and stuff. And you don't really need the throughput that Leech gives you on yourself. But I imagine for, like, raid healing, you'd probably prefer the Leech. And also for just, like, quality of life, fun, and low keys, the Leech is probably also nicer, so... I don't know. I'm not a Resto Druid scientist, but that would be my intuition. Alright, here's my Hunter. My Hunter did 4 bosses of Heroic, collected my bullion, and also did 1... Actually, I did a few keystones, but I only did enough keystones for 1 vault slot. So we can take sockets out of this one. Or we could find a really good upgrade. Not really actually all that much stuff that this character needs either. This character's like 520. Yeah, 519. I still need to get my other ring, which I guess I'll get next week. That'll be good. Mythtrack pants would be good. Gloves would be fine. Chest piece would be good. Shoulders would be fine. Tertiaries would be cool. Let's see what we can find. Boots. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, we're not going to take any of this stuff. Any of these heroic raid things. So we have boots. Right now I have Zone of Focus crafted into my boots. I could move this craft to somewhere else. But there's not really much else left. Like, I could put it into my bracers, but my bracers have avoidance, which I love. So I don't really want to move that craft. Yeah, my belt's already myth track. I already have my necklace crafted. So I think I kind of want to keep this here. I guess I could put it in gloves or something and then just catalyze chest piece, but that feels kind of icky. I think I'm talking myself into taking sockets here. I already have a lot of sockets on this character, but I don't know. This is only going to be a couple eye levels better than these boots when I upgrade them. I'm going to take the sockets. I'm gonna commit to the boots being my crafted slot. This is maybe a little bit suspicious, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep earning enough vault slots to get all my sockets. Now you can see I only actually have one item to put a socket into, and it's hero track, but it does have avoidance in it. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be pretty happy keeping this thing for a while, so we'll put that in there, and then we're not gonna put one into this ring. We're gonna wait until next week when we get another bullion, and I can buy the Broodkeeper ring. So yeah, a little bit of weird vault there. I'm open to the idea that I probably could have done something different. I probably would have done something different if that character was one that I was going to play more. But I think there's a very good chance it's going to be opening one-slot vaults from now until War Within. So I want to set myself up for that to be, you know, the least bad, right? I want to try and minimize the pain. So I wanted to take the sockets while I had, you know, those heroic vault slots contributing to letting me take sockets. All right, here's my Warlock. My Warlock also did heroic raid, so we can also take sockets, and I did a key. So let's see what we've got in here. Ooh, an augury. That's cool, although obviously we could always bully in this and get it to higher eye level than even the myth track goes. So yeah, we're not going to take any of this raid stuff. We're not going to take Correlate's Crackling Dagger. That leaves us with one option, as far as I can see. That's going to be sockets. This character, I wonder what the socket need is on this character. Ooh, it's very, the character doesn't need any sockets. Yeah, I don't have anything socketable on this thing. Maybe I should have taken gold. This is already crafted. Yeah, I guess, so the sockets are going to be good if I find a tertiary myth track belt in a future vault. If I find a tertiary mythic ring. Never in the bracers, because those are crafted, and I'm going to upgrade them. And then when I find a myth track helmet. So when I find a myth track helmet, I will be able to use one of these sockets, but this was really suspicious, actually. I mean, the thing is, I would never take the Correlate's Crackling Dagger or anything like that. Really what this shows is I probably don't need to bother with doing any heroic raid or filling any extra vault slots on this character. That is no longer useful. And already wasn't useful when I did it last week, so oopsie. That's okay. We all make mistakes. You live and you learn. Up next is my Mage. This character is beefy. This character has also gotten reasonably lucky with the content that it's done. I did heroic raid on this character last week to pick up some bullions, you know, fill out some vault slots, collect some Worm's Crests. I actually outgrew Worm's Crests on this character, so I don't need those anymore. Don't need heroic anymore on this thing. 520 eye level. Yeah, just fully kitted out. Has everything it needs, pretty much. Everything it wants for powerful arcane gameplay. Loot spec doesn't matter on this class. Yeah, I guess we'd hope to see like an Umbral Skulls for fire. Idol of Pure Decay. Huh. Or Myth Track Shoulders. Interesting. Okay, a quick look. Idol of Pure Decay. Not super hot for either Frost or Fire. Not something that a lot of people are actually really using. It's not going to beat my Tome. It would maybe beat my Radius Fragments for those specs, but I'm going to try and get an Umbral Skulls. That's what I actually want. So yeah, we're not too interested in this trinket. We are interested in Myth Track Shoulders. The stats are pretty good, actually. Pretty good. I'll be wearing 5-piece, which is fine. That's okay. That means I can replace any of them with good off-statted stuff that I find. But yeah, cool. All right, nice little hero track to myth track upgrade. That's pretty good. The helmet would have been better because currently I'm sitting on a champ track helmet. So I need to find where do you get helmets in Vault of the Incarnates? Let's see. I wonder if I could bring my mage to whatever boss that is. Let's see. Yeah, season 4 down here at the bottom. Okay, legs, head from Razaget the Storm Eater. You hate to see that. You hate to see that. All right, well, actually I should have checked where the off-piece helmet was. I can do that on my priest. All right, we're gonna do a little maneuver. I'm gonna log on to my priest first, and then I'm gonna remember to go back up to my shaman, so that I can check which boss drops off-piece cloth helmets from Vault of the Incarnates, and then I can see how feasible it's gonna be to try and snipe that thing on my mage, get a champion to myth track upgrade. Maybe a little bit difficult to do depending on the raid, but could be possible. Let's see which boss it is. Loot, head, yeah, Primal Council. I mean, honestly, that's a very easy fight to... Yeah, you hug that fight pretty easily, so... Yeah, all right. Try and get one of those terror masks on my mage. That could be big. All right, let's see what my vault contains for my Shadow Priest. We've got, another Tome of Unstable Power on the myth track. I already have one of those on this character. This character is, that's pretty funny. There's also some heroic items up here because I did heroic raid. We're not going to take those. It would be funny to take another one of these just to annoy people who want these and don't have them. Because, of course, like, this character has looked at, like, 5 M+ rows and it's seen 2 Mythic Tome of Unstable Powers. That's pretty funny. That's the kind of thing that would really annoy, like, main characters that don't have it yet. But I'm not going to do that. I would never intentionally annoy my friends. Alright, so this character, like my Warlock, is also just socketed out. No need for heroic, no need for anything like that. Pretty close to having outgrown Worm's Crest as well. I just need to get enough aspects to upgrade my crafted pieces here. I've actually upgraded all the pieces that are upgradable with worms out of that range, so that's pretty good. This is another character that basically should not be touching heroic raid or anything like that. Pretty much all my characters are getting to that point, which is pretty good. Okay, remember to click up and go on to the Shaman. The Shaman did a +10 key, and I also did some LFR to get my bullions on this character, so that was fun. Always love hopping into LFR. Didn't get it in the first 2 bosses, so I went and queued another LFR wing, which worked out nicely because it went into Igira. Like, I went into a wing where they'd already killed Gnarlroot, so I just had Igira and Smolderon, and there's like no trash there. So that was pretty good. That was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I got my bullions. Did I spend them? I forget what I spent them on. I think I spent them on this Vakash. Yeah, I think that's what I spent them on. Let's see what we can get out of this vault here. Something from the M+ rows like an Umbral Skulls would be pretty sick. We're not going to take the LFR stuff, although I do need the Mog from this Ancient Hauberk. How's that Mog? Not bad. Not bad Mog. It is male, so it's kind of hard for me to ever need that. And we're going to take the boots. That is a hero track to myth track upgrade, so can never be too sad about securing one of those, especially on this character that I'm trying to make the transition to not need Worm's Crest anymore, so every time I can get rid of a hero track piece, I'm like one step closer to sending all the rest of my Worm's Crests and getting out of there. That's kind of how I've been playing these characters is, like, you see I have 140 Worm's Crests here. I could spend those. You know, I could have spent those, for instance, on my old boots, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, you know, upgrade, like, okay, so 140 Worm's Crest, right? You could think of that as 9 upgrades, right? 9 item upgrades in the Worms track, in the hero track, right? In the Worms area. These 2 rings need 8 upgrades. The boots needed 2, so that's 10. This trinket needed 1, that's 11. And this cloak needs 4, so that's 15 upgrades I needed before. Now upgrading the boots there means that now I only need 13 upgrades. So what I'm going to do is, like, if I can drop any 2 of ring, cloak, that will bring me down to only needing 9 total upgrades. and then I can send all my Worm's Crest and then be done with needing Worm's Crest. But if I send any of those upgrades now, I run the risk of dropping that item, right? Like, the trinket's probably a pretty safe one to upgrade because it's an odd number, and but I don't really want to send Flight Stones into this either. And I could do a ring and probably be safe, but there's a big difference between probably being safe and, like, definitely being safe. And this way I'll never have to do any heroic raid again, as long as I carefully shepherd these Worm's Crests and make sure they land where they're supposed to. Make sure I don't spend any upgrades on something that I will then, you know, get something higher itemable in that slot and feel stupid about. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Pretty happy to see some boots in the vault there. Already done the priest. We move on to the rogue. The rogue did one singular keystone. This character's also got a lot of quite good gear already as well. All my characters are, I mean, they're all pretty geared, right? Like this season, a little bit of forward thinking, a little bit of rat heroics, a little bit of rat weeklies, and a couple weeks in, a couple weeks of that, and character starts looking real good. But you can see there are certainly still holes in this character's kit. We've got, I guess, crafted belt, so that's not something to worry about. But we do have a necklace would be really big to find a good, like, verse crit necklace would be huge. Myth track gloves, myth track pants. Ring on the myth track would maybe also be nice for just upgrades, although that would kind of not be great because I need to upgrade this signet. I don't want to wear the Broodkeeper ring because it's mastery and haste, 2 stats that are absolutely awful on this spec. So yeah, let's go loot spec assassination because I wouldn't mind seeing a dagger. Wouldn't mind being able to play some non-outlaw, and you can also put daggers in your offhand anyway. Let's see what we got here. We've got a belt. Ah! Arg. Okay, so the belt is an interesting one. The belt is an interesting one because I could move my craft off of this slot. Like I could move. You can't put a toxic armor patch onto a ring, but I could craft into cloak instead, or bracers instead. Both of those are legal maneuvers. And then I could have this nice Watcher's Clasp with perk. I actually do have 6 tokens of merit as well, so let's just quickly take a look at the socket situation here. Because yeah, okay, I want to put a socket into my helmet because that's myth track. I like the look of that. And then I have 1 more socket to deliver. I don't want to put them into these bracers. So if I craft in bracers and if I take this Watcher's Clasp with purpose, then I will need 2 more sockets because I'll need to socket this belt and my crafted bracers. I could get 2 more sockets. I mean, I think I'm going to take this over these tokens of merit. I feel like that's going to be better. It's verse mastery, though. It's got mastery on it. I don't like mastery very much. Let me see if I can find... There's some way of finding the piece. I think this is how you do it, right? You go, like, this thing, and then you can, like, whisper this to yourself. And then click on it. Haste crit. Okay. So we don't get crit verse out of either that or the catalyst. Crit verse is what I would most like to see. I guess I'm going to take this belt. I'm just going to take this belt because the sockets are so weak. If I don't... Okay, here's the thinking, right? If I don't take the belt and I take the sockets, I don't need the sockets, right? Because I only need to socket one thing if I'm going to keep this belt, which is my bracers, whenever I find some Mythtrack bracers or something. So I already have enough sockets if I were to make that choice. So I may end up not using this. I may end up still just using the Lifebound belt. But the 2 tokens of merit are so weak in that universe where I make that decision, so it doesn't matter. It seems like it's a belt in that slot, in that spot. Definitely one of those cases where if I had another vault slot, I would probably have taken 4 tokens of merit, because that would have just set me up to, you know, definitely be able to socket another piece if I got some good tertiaries or something, move around some crafts, that kind of thing. Maybe craft B-Res bracers as well. B-Res bracers are definitely nice on Rogue. All right, here's my Evoker. My Evoker also getting quite powerful here. It's only 518, but it's 518 with 115 worms in the tank. That's pretty good. The character's also just waiting on a couple more upgrades to be able to send all those Worm's Crests, so hopefully we find one here. The Rock Shovelers are not going to be it, unfortunately, as I did just do 1 keystone on this character last week. Regrettably, that does mean that we are taking 2 tokens of merit, and quite a sad day. Quite a sad day for the culture there. I should have checked the tertiaries on those, because I don't think you're ever going to do off-piece gloves. Yeah, I don't think I would ever do off-piece gloves for either Aug or Dev, so I don't really care. But yeah, this character, I need to improve the trinket situation, need to upgrade the item levels on the OCE, and upgrade the base type on the Ruby Whelp Shell to something else. That would be nice. And then I actually spent a few worms on Enchanted Worm's Crests on this character. It's a move I very rarely do, but it seemed worth it because I had so many Worm's Crests that I just wanted to do it for short-term benefit because I needed to use all my aspects on upgrading Nezuro for a while. I have actually gotten enough aspects to send Nezuro all the way up to 535 now, but that was my thought process on this character. Was there, like, 60 aspects ago, I had like 200 worms, and I was like, I'm never going to get to use these worms, or I'm never going to get to aspect upgrade these things because I'm going to need to keep putting all my next aspects for a while into Nezuro. So that was why I crafted Enchanted Worm's Crest, which, again, that's something I very rarely do. I would basically never do it on like a main character, but I would do it on a character that is sort of limited in how much time, how much play time it's going to get, which this character certainly is. All right, well, that's going to be it for the Vault video this week. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had some good luck in your vaults. Let me know in the comments below if you got anything cool. Let me know in the comments below if you're shocked that anybody is still making World of Warcraft retail videos and you thought this game was dead. And let me know why you're watching World of Warcraft YouTube videos and commenting those under them. That seems kind of deranged, but it is a pattern I've noticed recently. So, not recently, pattern I've noticed forever. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.